Before, the way a traditional skid steer, like my 330 would load a dump truck, you're barely high enough to get in and you have to kind of flip the bucket to kind of get the load, and you can never load the crown. Now what I found is I'm able to boom out, go all the way to the top, and then dump down, which allows for a full loading of the truck. It's just fantastic. Primarily cycle times, with the varying speeds and with the ability to not have to go in the corral to feed, to be able to feed from the outside of the bunk by being able to reach over, that saves 15 minutes per feeding per group of animals. What's really neat is being able to utilize the square footage of my barn more, because I can stack higher, I can lift higher, and that makes my barn feel twice as big. Anybody who's looking for a skid steer for any purpose, whether it's agricultural or commercial, really needs to consider the Teleskid. Initially, when I bought it, I had a couple things that I wanted to be able to do with it, and I did that. But as my brain gets more used to having the arm be able to go out, I find, like the other day when I was in the pen and I had to move a bunk, I just simply moved the arm out and pushed it. And so intuitively, you start to just develop all these other little things that are easier and faster and less stressful because I can go out. Even with an attachment, some of the attachments are easier to put on when you can see better by just even being out a foot. So it's completely variable. So anybody who is in the market for a skid steer should demo one of these so that they can find in their own experience all the advantages that it comes. And the bottom line is there's no downside, because it is the same size, it is just as compact as your traditional skid steer. So when you're doing heavy gravel work, your arm will be in, just like it always has been for you, but then you also have the ability to go out. I've ran other skid steers and there's no comparison in visibility. This is hands down the most visible, and with that provides me an opportunity to be safer and not bump into things as much, which is important. You have to go to your dealer and you have to demo one and actually feel what it can do for you in your specific situation. Once you do that, I'm convinced that you'll go for one like I did. I'm not going back to 2 arms ever, and I'm definitely not going to go back to a fixed arm. Do you ever see a fighter that's like this? The best fighters reach out. I personally would recommend the Teleskid to anybody who is in the market for a new skid steer and who wants something that can do more than a traditional skid steer is. So it's like my Leatherman here, it does everything. So I really like it.